St. John's is a church that has existed in Roanoke before there was a Roanoke. And this church has existed in this part, in the heart of the city, in downtown since 1897. This is a church that goes deep. It offers beauty in a world that can get fixated very oftentimes on kind of the uglier things in life, and it also deals with transcendence and things eternal. And so in our worship, in our music, in our ministry to people outside of our doors through community engagement and outreach, we're a force for good in this city.
And I have been at St. John's almost my entire life.
St. John's has always been my home church, and we're excited, Michael and I are excited to now be bringing Peyton into the multi-generational tradition. St. John's has done a really fantastic job, and I'm certainly especially proud to be a parishioner for this reason of carving out and being intentional about being welcoming to any and all.
I've been coming to St. John's all my life. To me, St. John's is a community, and that's what it is to me.
We have been coming here since we moved to Roanoke in 2019.
It's a very important part of our life. Our children love coming to church. We're also very involved in the community, lots of outreach, very supportive of our own members, whether it be expecting a new child, members who may be sick in the hospital. There is a lot of community outreach and support that we offer.
Music on the Corner program. Most interesting for me is the fact that I bet half the people who come to that are not members of St. John's. So we get the opportunity to share everything we have, our facilities and our family, with people who don't go to St. John's, and I think that's just great.
And I think that we do make real efforts to contribute to the health of our broader Roanoke community.
Another ministry that actually I was involved with at the beginning is the St. John's Community Youth Program, CYP now.
We are a nonprofit after-school program at St. John's Episcopal Church, and we serve 3rd through 12th grade students in Roanoke City Schools for after-school and summer programming. I absolutely love the mission of CYP, being able to reach a small group of kids but have a really big impact on them. I've seen some amazing changes in our children and families over the years. Our donors and volunteers are committed for a very long time, and I know that I can count on them and say, hey, we have this need. This sounds like something that you would consider supporting. I can just call up on anybody, and they're really generous to us.
So stewardship at St. John's is really about the recognition of all that we have inherited and been given by God. It's about gratitude. But that responsibility in turn is to do something with it. I mean, God doesn't, give us things like the parable of the talents just to sit on them. In fact, the mandate is always to do something more. And this church is full of generous people.
For stewardship at St. John's, I think to me that means that time, talent, treasure, it's important that each and every member of the parish contribute in as many ways as they can for the health of the overall.
And so this isn't about doing the minimum we can to keep the doors open. It's about dreaming of what's next. And the stewardship of the people of this parish allow us to have that dream of God's next steps for this congregation and the history that's gone before that's been so immense and rich and vital and has been handed into our care. Well, then we hand it to the future better than we found it. That's stewardship.
In order to share, I feel like the church's mission of sharing the gospel and supporting other people in the community and in our church, we need to share our resources, our money and our time and our talent.
For us, it truly is gladful giving. We get more out of it than we put in, I know that. So we're glad to do everything we can for our church.
St. John's needs each and every one of us who call this place our church home to be what Jesus calls us to be. We're all a part, big and small, everything in between. Each of us has a needed place if what God intends to do through this church is going to happen. And so I ask you to consider that. What is your place? What is your role? I can tell you this, the world needs right now St. John's. It really does. And we make a tremendous difference. Shelley and I and our family join you in giving our very best to this church in every way, our time, our talent, and our treasure, because we know that St. John's matters for the very life of the world. I hope you'll join us.